Thanks, Cheryl. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today. I am John Hughes, Business Development Consultant for our NetSuite solution here at Socius, and today I'll be providing you a look into NetSuite, a real solution for modern business. So for today's agenda, we're going to start by discussing today's constant state of change and the business technology shift that's taking place. Then I'll be showing you NetSuite in action, demonstrating the efficient process of taking a website lead all the way through to cash within a unified solution, followed by looking at some dashboards and reporting. So let's begin with looking at today's constant state of change. Business for our clients in the past has consistently been predictable and stable. We're not seeing that anymore. In today's world, the only constant in business is change. And if you have to be agile, you have to be agile enough to respond rapidly to changing market conditions before your competition does. Here's a few examples of what we're seeing in the market. So first, new business models are emerging every single day. Companies that used to build products are now delivering those products as a service. Manufacturers are going direct to consumer and starting to look more like retailers and distributors. So in this landscape, we find that our top performing clients are extremely agile. To operate successfully in a fast-changing business and economic environment, agility and flexibility are critical. So to stay competitive, companies need a bird's-eye view of the business. Today's modern solutions take this into account, giving you dashboards, for example, that provide you with real impactful data and one version of the truth in real time. Modern technology impacts everyone's expectations. Your customers expect you to be able to reach, they expect to be able to reach you from their mobile devices, and your distributors want self-service capabilities from your website. Even your employees want access to the corporate systems anytime, anywhere, from any type of smart device. So finally, engaging with employees is becoming increasingly important as well. The millennials that are entering the workforce today demand easy-to-use systems that look and behave like social tools and shopping apps that they use today. The lines between work and home life are increasingly blurry. Our clients find that to attract new talent, they have to operate in a modern environment and put the right person in the right place with the right tools, and it's the best way for a company of any size to stay competitive. So business technology is shifting again. We've seen this before. We know the market is shifting to cloud computing. And we've seen this market shift before, from timeshare computing to the shift in the 90s towards client-server technology. And now this new shift from client-server to cloud and mobile computing. In each new shift, we see similar results. There'll be winners like Amazon and Netflix, and there'll be losers like Blockbuster and Kodak. So what's driving today's change? We can frame this shift in four contexts. As the market shifts to cloud and mobile computing, we see these drivers taking shape. From the context of the business, most companies prefer enabling employees to be more productive versus hiring more people. And from the context of executives, owners and CEOs prefer unified, easy-to-maintain solutions that can be accessed from any part of the globe. Next, from the context of IT, CIOs want to be flexible and have the ability to deliver impact to the company versus fixing issues. And from the context of money, clients are preferring cost certainty and want to avoid unbudgeted spending. So what would hold a client back? We see three reasons why some companies hold back. The most common reason is not knowing where or how to start. So that's where Socius comes in. This is our specialty. At Socius, we help companies determine the right solutions and the right mix of computing models for their specific business. Unlike companies that provide just hosting solutions or just software, Socius brings a mix of expertise and experience to the table for our clients. So, of course, we're already in the cloud. So I've used the term cloud as if it's something brand new to business, but the reality is that we're already using it. and we're already made the shift to mobile. So now let's move forward with another consideration. At Socius, a dimension of our work is identifying blockages to growth. Within mid-market companies, we often see major blockages that are caused by departmental solutions, resulting in an infrastructure that becomes messy and difficult to scale. So as a result, we find that mid-market companies are flocking to a single unified business system, NetSuite, designed for efficiency and flexibility, not only serving all the people at your company, but also extending to your best customers, most important vendors, and leveraging key partners for growth. So that's a quick overview of the market it's transforming today. And at this point, I'd like to now take time to give you a view of NetSuite and see what a modern unified system looks like. So bear with me here, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my screens. Okay, so we're going to start here at the NetSuite login screen. So let me get logged on. So as I get logged on here, you can see that the system is a user-based role system, which means it's set up under user roles. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and first log on as the administrator. And when we do that, we're going to end up starting at the main screen, and it's a personalized dashboard for the administrator. It's set up here with reminders. You have your navigation portlet, which is essentially just shortcuts to the areas that they spend the most time in, and allows a user to be very efficient. It allows other people to step into roles, and it's very intuitive that they can go and see all of the shortcuts that are necessary to perform that role. Well, I'm starting here as the administrator because what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I'm going to open up a website that's a part of the e-commerce package, and it's an integrated website within NetSuite. And as I had mentioned, today's story is going to be about taking a website lead, from that lead all the way through to cash in a very efficient and under a unified platform solution. So I'm going to come up here, go to my site builder, and I'm going to preview the website for Gill Incorporated. So let me open that website. So here we have Gill Incorporated. Again, this is part of the e-commerce solution for NetSuite, but this would be no different than any other website that your company may already have in place. We're still going to be able to make the same type of connection to that website. So as in most companies, you have a Contact Us link. So we come here to the Contact Us, and it's going to open up a form here for contacting us. And this is going to be where we're going to initiate our lead. So let me go ahead and get this filled in real quick. Jim Jackson, a local basketball hero here. Works for Buddy's company. Let me get this. Although Jim's working out in Los Angeles, he likes the warm weather out there. Go ahead and get our contact information, because most likely we're going to be calling Jim based off of his interest in our products. Hello. You can't spell there, but it's all right. we're going to go ahead and submit this lead. And now I'm going to go back over into NetSuite. I click the home button and I'm still in as an administrator. So again, it brings up that personalized dashboard for the administrator. But at this point, what I want to do is go ahead and change hats and get logged in as the sales rep. So the way the system is set up is there are sales rules and sales territory rules that as these leads come in, the system is automatically going to send it to the appropriate person to begin the sales process. So again, we have a personalized dashboard. We have the key performance indicators that are important to a sales rep. His new leads for a month, how are they fluctuating month over month? His sales, where are they at? Quotas, and so forth. You have reminders over here in the upper left-hand corner, his opportunities to close, sales orders to print, etc. And then right here in the middle, we have my new leads. So we can see here he has 3 current new leads in the system. So we go in here and we can see right here where Jim Jackson at Buddy's company filled out our form and generated a new lead for the sales rep. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And what this does is all of that information is automatically populated into a new lead document for our sales rep, A. Wolf, that's down here. And from this information, we can come down here and we can see the contact information that's available. All of the comments, hello, please contact me regarding new products, an address, and a phone number. So at this point, the sales rep will get on the phone and give a call to Mr. Jackson and see what he's inquiring about. So we get him on the phone, start talking to him, and what we found out is Mr. Jackson is looking to restock his inventory of cameras today. It's that time of year for proms, and he always seems to sell a lot of cameras in this time of year. So from here, he already kind of knows what he wants. So we're going to come here and we're just going to go ahead and create a sales order directly from this lead. So we do the one click, and all of the information from the leads document is already going to populate directly into the sales order. So you can see a sales order number is automatically created. The customer information is automatically put in there. Terms, everything is pre-populated directly from that lead form that was filled out by the customer. So Jim has a PO because he knows what he wants. So we go ahead and we're going to put a PO number in there. We're going to scroll down here and add his product to the sales order. He knows it's a Canon camera, but he's not 100% sure which one. So what we're going to do is help him search for that. Go ahead and put in Canon. And we come down, and he knew it was an 8.5 megapixel camera. We see right here the item. So what we'll do is we'll click on the item, and it populates directly into the sales form. You can scroll over here. We can see that there's 500 available. He wants to buy 10 of them. So I mentioned he has a good year. We can scroll across here. You can charge him list price. We can give discounts. You can do an online price, or we can go into a custom price. High demand, so we're just going to sell it to him at list. Has the total amount. We're able to go and populate the tax. So California tax, let's go up here actually. And the tax for Los Angeles. It's populated in there. And we have them on hand, so we're going to go ahead and let him know that we're going to be able to ship those today. If need be, you can go into the system if there's none on hand and the system's intuitive enough that it can search and let you know what an estimated expected ship date would be. So the order is completely fulfilled at this point, or at least it's the sales order form is actually filled out. This is all that he wants. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the sales order. You know, we can come up here and you see this, there's an upsell button here. You know, when you have your customers on the line, you can go in and click on the upsell items button, and it's going to show you other items that are associated with this type of sale. So we're able to try to upsell the customer and add things to a sales order. But he's just satisfied with these 10 cameras, so that's all he wants. And from here, we're going to go ahead and save this sales order. So what you're going to find is we're going to get that the sales order has been successfully saved. And if you see over here, based on the tax information that I had put into the system, the tax has automatically been added to the sales order form. And you'll see we have confirmation, and it's now pending fulfillment. And to the right there, we have a summary of all the expenses that are related, all of the information, again, initiated by the lead, has been then input into the sales order. So at this point, we need to fulfill the order. So again, as I had mentioned, it's a role-based system. So what I'm going to need to do now is the salesperson's job is done. I'm now going to take on the role of warehouse. So I'll come over and I'll go into warehouse operations, and we'll go ahead and get this order fulfilled. Again, as you've noticed, the dashboards change for each one of these roles. The dashboard can be personalized. You can see up here in the upper right-hand corner where it says personalized. You can come up, you can open up that. You have an opportunity with these preset portlets within the system to customize your dashboard any way that you feel is going to help you be more efficient. You have the reminders for this particular role: orders to fulfill, orders to receive. You know, you have your navigation portlet of shortcuts, and the other personal or the other information that the warehouse operations folks need to be more efficient. So we're going to come up here to orders to fulfill, so we can get Jim Jackson's order put together and shipped out the door as quick as possible. So we clicked on the orders to fulfill. And what we've done is we brought up all of those orders that are out there. So you do have an opportunity to come in and you can click on each one of these. You can fulfill more than one item at a time. But for this particular exercise, we're just going to go in and we're going to get the order for Buddy's Company by Jim Jackson. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to fulfill that sales order. So the item fulfillment form is now brought up. Again, we're going to go through and we're going to validate all of the information that's on here. The shipping carrier, which can be changed if you use something other than FedEx. You can see here it was created from this particular sales order. If you needed to go back and look at the sales order, you could actually click right here and go back to that sales order to take a look at the information that's there. We can come over here to shipping. You can identify whether or not it's a residential address. You can go in here and select the address. By using the drop-down list, you can put in a new address that may be different than what Buddy's Company's address is. You can put a custom address, or you can just go ahead and use the default billing, which is going to populate Buddy's Company's address here that we had, that he had actually initiated in his website lead form. So the item has been fulfilled, so it's ready to be shipped. At this point, you can save it and input a new fulfillment form. You can save it and print it. You can save it and print a label. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and save it. And you can see we have confirmation now that the the products have been shipped to the customer. You can come down here again. In this role, you could go and continue to fulfill other items if necessary. But for today, we just wanted to make sure that Jim Jackson at Buddy's Company's order had been shipped. So if you just noticed up here, I got an email that came through that lets Buddy's Company know your order has been filled, it's been shipped out today, there's the cost, you know, it's out the door and on its way, and that's done by an email notification. So we'll go ahead and close that. So again, at this point, the customer's filled out a lead, the sales rep has called them, they've made a sale, they've created a sales order, it's gone to warehouse to be fulfilled. Warehouse operations has fulfilled that order. So now we're just going to go ahead and invoice the customer. And to do that, again, we're going to change our hats and go to a different role. And that's going to be our accounts receivable clerk. Again, another unique dashboard. You know, it's very pertinent to what makes the AR invoicing, the AR department very efficient in doing what they need. You can get some key performance indicators, you know, very easy to set up. You can come in here, there's standard KPIs, you can have custom KPIs. You know, they're able to come in and make changes to their dashboard very intuitively and on their own. They're not having to call IT to have somebody come and set something up on their desktop. So we'll go ahead and close that. We're satisfied with what we have. So we come over here, and again, the reminders is, you know, pretty much your inbox. Those are the things that need to be done for that particular day. So we have invoices to print, sales orders to print, sales orders to bill. So we're going to go and look for our sales order and get that shipped out to the customer. So we come down here. It works out that Buddy's Company was the last transaction that was input into the system. Again, you have the ability to go through and they could do all of the invoices for today at the end of the day, or in this case, you can go in and you can invoice one particular customer at a time. So we're going to go ahead and click on this invoice. And if you remember, all of this information generated from what the customer has put into the system. To this point, we've been very efficient in what we've had to add to each transaction to get it fulfilled and shipped out. So again, you over here on your right, you have the summary of the transaction. You have the subtotal. The tax, again, was added in for a grand total here. All of the information. You have the identification that this is created from that particular sales order in case you need to go back and change anything. The due date was populated based on the criteria that we were giving the customer in that 30 days. Sales rep information is tied to this as well. And we come down and we can see exactly what was billed to the customer. So what we're going to do, we validated everything is correct on our invoice, and we're going to get that shipped out to them. So I'm going to come down here to save and email. You can save and print, or you can save an email if you choose to print those and get those out. Whatever is going to be easiest for you and the customer. You know, with today's technology, invoicing via email is a very efficient way to speed up the cash, you know, getting paid, which is very important. Now, if you see, I got another email, or Jim Jackson got another email at Buddy's from the accounts receivables clerk, and here's the copy of his invoice that was shipped out to him, so he can see exactly what he bought, all of the financial information, and at this point he can go ahead and make arrangements to cut us a check. So we're going to kind of jump forward, and we're going to assume that it's, say, 10 days later. Jim likes to pay his bills on time. So we're going to come into the system, and we're going to go ahead and apply a payment to his sales order. So I went back to the dashboard, kind of the starting point for all of the roles and everything that they do. We're just going to assume that Peter had, got today's mail, opens today's mail, and sees that he has a check from Buddies. Doesn't really remember the transaction, but he knows, he has to apply it somewhere. So you come up here to the universal search box, put in the company name. We see right here the customer is Buddies Company. We're going to go ahead and open that up. What this is going to do is going to bring up the customer information, and it's going to give us a 360-degree view of this customer. All of his information, you can see here the status is he's a customer, and we closed it and won an opportunity to sell them something. And we're going to scroll down here, and you can see the latest transaction history that's related to this customer. We had a sales order, 707. We did the fulfillment, and here's the invoice that we had shipped out a week ago. So let's go in. We're going to open up this invoice. We have a check in our hand, and we need to now apply this check to this invoice. We'll scroll down here. Again, verify everything. I'm going to come over here to billing. And it's going to show the, sorry. So we have the opportunity, we show that the invoice is open. Let's say Jim would have returned the shipment. It was damaged on the way there. FedEx guy was kicking it around. I saw him on TV do it before. You have the opportunity that you can just come in here and do an authorization of the return and start the whole process of the return of the item, which is then going to apply to this invoice and not have it sit out there as being open. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and we're going to accept payment on this invoice. So it opens up the payment screen. Again, shows the payment information, the number generated by the system, the customer, shows the balance on the customer's account. It shows what account that we're going to be applying the money to once we apply this check. We're going to come down here and we're going to click on payment method, which is where I was trying to get before. So we have multiple payment methods. If we click on here, we can take American Express, we can cash, check, Discover, etc. In this case, we're going to go ahead and we're going to accept Jim Jackson's check. We're going to go ahead and put his check number in here, and we're going to, it's all the information that we need at this point. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click Save. And again, what I would stress, I've done very little to take me from a lead to applying a payment to an invoice. The lead to cash process has been very efficient and very productive. Most of all the heavy lifting was done by the customer in filling out the form and the sales rep that it was adding line items to the original sales order. So we can see here that we do have confirmation that it was successfully saved. You can see next to the payment number here that the payment was deposited. It shows that it was applied in the summary here on the right-hand side. We had nothing that was unapplied. And then if you look right underneath the customer here, you can see that their balance with us is 0. So that is the lead to cash story. Very efficient. Doesn't take much time at all. At this point, what I would like to do is to show you a little bit about the dashboards and some of the reporting. And to do that, again, we're going to change roles. A role that I'm a little bit more comfortable with, and that is the role of the controller. I choose the controller and their dashboard because aside from the executive management, they're the ones that are looking at all of the information and all of the reporting that needs to be, that's where all the answers are, is in the data, all of the reporting. Again, a customized, personalized dashboard, all of the information that, a controller is going to deal with on a regular basis. We have the key performance indicators. We can see what our sales were today. We can see what the sales were last month. It's very easy to go in and, I'm going to go ahead here in sales. Maybe I want to look at month to month. Oh, sorry. So I just click Save. Now I come over here. Now I'm looking at this month compared to last month. So sales are up quite a bit this month. We could take a look at our expenses month over month. I could do the same thing. I can go into this portlet and I can easily change my comparison to be today, if that's the information I'm looking for. I can look at my bank balance. I can look at the receivables. I can look at the payables. All of this information is right at my fingertips. I can look at sales by customer summary. I can look at the estimated commissions for this week. All of the important financial information that a controller's CEO or owner is going to be looking for on a whim, the last minute, at any time in the day. So one other place I want to take you is to take a look at some reporting, the income statement, the lifeblood of every organization. So what I do is I come here and I'm over down here, the quick criteria, and I have the information for this period. And by changing it to this period, you can see it automatically puts in the dates. I can look at last fiscal quarter. Again, it changes the dates automatically for me. I can go in and not have a period criteria and just put in a date range that I need. So we're going to go ahead and look at this period, which is already the information that's in there. Now this is a total company view. My boss wants to know by department how we're looking for this month. So I go in, I'm going to change the department, I'm going to refresh this report, and what it's going to do is it's automatically now breaking us down by the admin group, the marketing department, the sales department, the service department. So I'm very quickly able to dissect my reports with minimal effort. I clicked in one particular dimension, changed that dimension, and I get a whole new report. Even once you're in these reports, NetSuite has a whole bunch of canned reports already in the system. You're still able to come down here and customize those reports. If there's something that you wanted to see, if you wanted to see variance reporting within the income statement, you would be able to add that very easily. Down here, you would be able to email this report out to executive management at the end of the month. You would be able to export this report into a CSV file, and you can export it into Microsoft Word. You can send it to Excel. You can PDF the file. As far as emailing, you can actually go in and schedule to have this report emailed in the format that you want without having to go in and remember the 5th business day of the following month to go out and get those reports out to the right people. So again, the reporting and the dashboard gives you that bird's eye view look of your organization at any time in real-time data. My sales increased this month based on the transaction that I just did for you with the lead to cash. So it's all real-time, accurate, trustworthy data that's available at your fingertips regardless of the role that you're in. So that's my quick view of NetSuite. And at this point, I'm going to flip things back to Cheryl and see if anybody has any questions.
Okay, thanks, John. And just to remind everyone, you can either raise your hand and I'll unmute your line, or you can go ahead and type your question into the question box I see a question coming in here. John, if a form is filled out on an external site such as Amazon, will the forms still be tracked automatically in NetSuite?
If the system's set up that the form tracks back to your organization, certainly. Whether it's a website that's a part of the e-commerce package integrated directly in NetSuite, it doesn't matter. Even if you have an external website that you use or another portal from another company like Amazon that would send those leads directly to you, you can link the system that it would automatically go right directly into your leads.
Looks like we have a few other people typing. If you don't mind moving to the next slide, I can cover a few things during the downtime here. And this is just a background for those of you on the phone that aren't current clients or partners, just a background of Socius for you. Socius is a strategic business consulting partner that provides comprehensive business management solutions that help companies leverage technology to accelerate their growth and profitability and compete more successfully in today's economy. Through an extensive list of consulting services and software-specific solution packages, Socius works to enable you to better understand and connect with your customers and partners, empower your staff, and improve productivity by streamlining and automating business processes. Unlike companies that provide just hosting solutions or just software, Socius brings a mix of expertise and experience to the table for our clients. We focus on influencing the high-value area of our clients' business and help them with lowering costs and other tactical needs. We do this through our portfolio of business platforms, our expertise and experience working with these platforms, which helps us to uniquely position us to help make the right choice for your business. Our 30-year history has provided us with industry expertise that enables us to guide our clients through best practices. Coupled with our broad portfolio of products and services, we've uniquely tuned these products to the needs of industries we serve. To learn more about Socius or to learn about our on-premise, hosted, and multi-tenant offerings, please contact us or visit our site. And it looks like we do have some more questions coming in for you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Does e-commerce site builder integrate with Magento web retail software?
Yes, it does. And I can provide you some more information on that offline.
Okay. How much does it cost to set up all the reporting that you were showing during the demo?
Most of that reporting is already within the system. There wasn't anything within that system or what I showed you in my demonstration that's not already there. But certainly, if if you needed anything special, it's very intuitive. I would be surprised if most people wouldn't be able to go up and set it up themselves. But there's over 1,800 reports already within NetSuite that are in there that you just have to go out and select.
Okay. Does NetSuite handle consigned inventory programs?
Yes. And again, that would be another thing that we could go into a little bit more depth offline.
Okay, it looks like the questions are slowing down a little. Will NetSuite handle order costing for drop ship type orders?
Yes, it will. It is very capable of doing that. So again, If we had more time, I would love to go into detail on all of these items with you guys, but if you shoot me an email or give me a call, we can certainly address those questions a little bit more in depth.
Let's see. And we'll also be sending out a follow-up email a couple of hours later here today with John's contact information and reaching out to everyone. Does it offer any services management features?
Service management? Yes, it does. Well, there's a third party that's a built for NetSuite product that offers service management, whether that be using an iPad in the field and signature capture, but it does certainly offer service management capabilities and job costing, et cetera.
Does NetSuite allow a sales opportunity to track from the CRM to order completion?
Absolutely. Everything within the system is integrated. So once it's in the system, it's accessed from every aspect of that system. So if you have something in the CRM, like with my lead essentially went from into the CRM and initiated. The customer record was created, the contact information was created, so it's all integrated.
Just look like that's all the questions for now. We're actually going to go ahead and stay on the line for a couple more minutes for any more questions that come through. You're welcome to jump off, and like I said, we'll be following up. John will be following up to see if there are any additional questions. His contact information is here on the screen for any of you that need it, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.